Hey everybody, what's going on? KSA Kris here, the Real Estate Blitz, and today's going to be kind of cool because I actually took notes because I had so many things in my mind that I felt like if I didn't at least make notes so I could talk about it, I'd be all over the place. So I wanted to make sure I did that. So what I want to talk about today is about creating your ultimate farm, growing and creating it and farming it. We have a lot of agents on our team. I had a meeting yesterday, and this is actually what gave me the idea. I had a meeting yesterday with one of our agents, and there is a traditional way to farm an area. And I started asking some questions, and she was kind of turned her head and looked at me like that dog that heard the weird music. Like, there's a traditional way to do farming, and then there's my way, which my way, I'm not saying it's better, it's just a way. So traditional means of farming. This is if you're going to farm a market in a traditional means, there you should answer some questions. And I think I did a video on this. I talked about it in a different video recently, but this is my view. Farming traditionally is, you pick a market or you pick an area. It's usually anywhere from 200 to 500, let's say 700 homes. Maybe you have 2 or 3 different farms, and you're that person, the guy or the lady who's walking around with this. You can't see my arm back here, but it's kind of like dragging something, right? You're walking around with this cart, this radio flyer, dropping, these weird packages on people's front porch once a month. If you drop it on my porch, I'm going to call somebody like the bomb squad. I think it's weird, but it works. You drop off stuff. You're knocking on doors. You're sending out direct mail. And you're trying to connect and become recognizable in this small little niche market. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing. In fact, I think that works extremely well if it's done appropriately. However, so it's been 2 agents now this week on our team that asked me about my input, asked me to help them. Both of them came to me with, well, here's the direct mail piece. I just got from the print house. This is my envelope. And I says, good. Before you do all this stuff, let me ask you a couple questions. In that market where you want to be, what's the turnover? What's the turnover rate? Like, how many homes are sold in that niche neighborhood every year? What do you mean, Chris? Well, okay. If you are farming these 500 homes, how many of those homes sell every year? Well, a lot. Okay, good. What's a lot? Well, I see signs all the time. Okay, stats, statistics, numbers, folks, numbers. You like, if you're not running on truth, you're running on hope. That is what it is. If you don't know your numbers, you're setting yourself up for failure, in my opinion. Now, here's the thing: you could start marketing these people and hope you get a deal because you think there's a lot of properties that sell, but if you don't know, so A. How many homes in that niche market sell every year? That's the first one. B, who is the number 2, number 3, number 1, number 2, and number 3 agent that sells those homes every year? Now, if you're in a zip code, it's really easy to do this. And it's funny because my wife is actually doing a video, and I'm going to post it on the Blitz, just to physically walk you through this. Because I talk about it, and not everybody understands it. So she's actually going to show you on the MLS what it looks like to target a neighborhood and pull stats. And when I say, well, this person sells a lot there, no, how many do they sell? Because that's going to help you target market. Tom Ferry always talks about R&D. I don't like the way it's phrased. I mean, it is a truth, but he says rip off and duplicate. I view it as studying the winners and realizing if I can or can't compete with them, or is there a better way to compete with them in a space where they aren't at. So if I find that the number 1 person in this market has sold 50% of the total homes, that's the turnover in that market. So there's a 16% turnover in that little niche market that I want to have. Well, what are they doing to get that market share? What are they doing to get the 50% market share? Because I could tell you every market that our team is in. I could tell you who's number 1, who's number 2, who's number 3. I can tell you what market share they have. I can tell you what market share we have. We do it every other week. I always want to see the stats because then I'm going to go out there and research those individuals and say, what are they doing to get that market return? Can I do it better than them? Can I find a different way or a different space where they aren't in that I could basically squeeze into to get marketing? Or am I going to have to try to outspend them? How long have they been in that market? How do they own it? I'm trying to study that because I'm going to have to compete against these people if there is a 1, 2, or 3. Now, if you find out Nobody owns the market. Yay, and it has a good turnover. Because here's the thing. Well, it turns out, for every 100 homes in this little niche neighborhood, and I have 500 homes, only 2 of them sell a year. Okay, that's not a bad thing. How much time and how much money are you spending? Now, you got to understand, to me, time is money. You should be running analytics on how much you're worth. I know right now when I'm focused on prospecting, which I don't have to do it all that often anymore because I have people that reach out to me, which is I might talk about that eventually. Getting people to come to you to list their homes. I mostly only focus on listings. People on our team focus on buyers. I do work with buyers on occasion, but it's very rare. I usually, anywhere from, if I don't prospect, I still get anywhere from 5 to 8 listing appointments a month. And that's just from, what I've created online, what I've created with my sphere of influence and following up with people. But when I'm prospecting, I'm worth about $1,500 an hour. That's what I'm worth per hour. Should I be going and knocking on doors for $1,500? Could I hire somebody else to do or drop off those packages for me? I don't know, and that's something for you to figure out. But you got to study that market and figure out what actually works and what doesn't work. So that's traditional farming. Now I'm going to talk about what I do. It's a little bit different. It maximizes time. It maximizes your energy. It maximizes your amount of capital you have to invest in order to get a return. Okay, so I'm going to walk down the list because, like I said, I wrote this list because if I don't, as you can already see, I'm 6 minutes into this video and I'm already all over the place. So ultimate way to grow and mature a farm. Get all the broker listings, solds, and in escrow properties and create a list. So on our team, or you can go to your broker, on our team, we don't have an issue with our agents farming all of our listings, our past solds, or our in escrow properties. And the way that we phrase it is, you're not the listing agent, but you can absolutely say, so let's say your brokerage, look what our Keller Williams team did for your neighbor. We just sold their home. Guess what our Keller Williams team just did for your neighbor? We just listed their house. Guess what our Keller Williams team just did for your neighbor? We just went into escrow and we're excited. It's only been on the market for 30 days. So you leverage, unless you have your own listings. If you have your own listings, you should be farming the hell out of your own listings. But let's say you don't have any listings, all right? That's how you start getting new listings. Use success to perpetuate success. The best part about a lot of our listings is we have a sign that's sitting out there. Beautiful yard sign. Super cool. Everybody knows it's ours. They drive by it every day, those neighbors. And if you haven't learned about the 10-10-20 program, I did a video, go back and look at it. But 10-10-20, 10 to the left, 10 to the right, and 20 across the street. At a minimum, you should be connecting with 40 homes around the home that's listed, or the home that's in escrow, or the home that has been sold, whether it just sold or a year ago, 2 years ago, it doesn't matter. You're going to create a database on all of those homes. Write them out. Here's the capper home. Here's the 40 homes around the capper home that we sold, right? And then I'm going to create that list. Get all of them, create a list, create a database. So where do you get the list? Great question. Now we get on to part 2. There's a couple different ways you could do it. I personally use RedX. There's amazing products out there, Espresso Agent. There's Vulcan 7. Sometimes you can leverage your title companies. Sometimes you can leverage, I know some people use Rebo Gateway. I'm not a huge fan of Rebo Gateway, but some people use that. But what you want to do is you want to get a list of the addresses and phone numbers around that just sold, just listed, or in escrow property. I personally use RedX, and I go and use what's called Geo Leads. I'm going to pull a Geo Lead of 40 to 50 properties around that house, and it will literally give me the addresses and the phone numbers for all those homes around it. I put that into the database. So Capper Estate, here's the 40 or 50 homes, here's their addresses, here's their phone numbers that I pulled from Geo Leads on RedX. Next, I'm going to put that address and phone number into my CRM. So I have a separate database that I can track and put in there real pretty so it can fit into my CRM. I'm going to upload it to my CRM. I personally use Sync. There's a ton of great CRMs out there. Somebody asked me for my recommendations the other day. You got to understand different CRMs link with different types of systems depending on what you're trying to do, whether it's lead capture, websites, whatever. I think Follow Up Boss is another great one. It fills into a lot of the call centers can use Follow Up Boss extremely well. So you just got to do a little research. But once you have a CRM, listen, if you're sitting here and you're listening to this and you're like, I don't have a CRM. You need to get a CRM. That's like It's a requirement. If your broker can't get you a CRM, you need to go out and find one. If you don't have a ton of money, look, put a comment down here. I'll give you a list. I'll even help you go out and research CRMs. I have a whole list of them, but you got to get a CRM, even if it's like a super broke, don't have any money, going and using Excel. Okay, I can give you a template. I have a template for Excel to create your own CRM. You have to have a database, people. That is your future business. It's your future for growing business and repeat business referrals. It's also if and when you look to retire and you want to sell your business, you're selling your database. That is your business. That database is worth money all day, every year, year in, year out. You have to have it. So put it into your CRM, upload it so it's something that you can qualify and quantify. In our CRM, I'm able to send text messages from my CRM. I'm able to send emails from my CRM. I'm able to do phone calls from my CRM. So then I'm able to actually mark when I communicated, how I communicated with them, and what the return was. It's something that I can track now. It's measurable. And if you haven't heard me in past videos, I always talk about analyze. Make sure you're doing measurable steps, measurable things. And the reason why is so you can see what you're worth and you can see the returns that you're going to get. Okay, next one. Create a direct mail script for just listed. Create a direct mail script for in escrow, for solds, and a monthly market update. Now, not just direct mail, but you want to do this script for text messages, and you want to create scripts for phone calls, outbound phone calls. You need to create these scripts. They're all going to be a little bit different, okay? But you have to understand, what am I trying to communicate to these people, and how am I trying to connect with them? And realize you got seconds of their attention. You should be sending them emails, you should be sending them text messages, you should be sending them direct mail, and you should be sending them phone calls. Now, why do I say direct mail first? So wrap your head around this. I hear it all the time. I want to start a direct mail campaign. And then they're just like grabbing areas randomly, living on hope, not doing any analytics, not doing any studying. Now here's the thing. I just told you, you have a successful property. It's just sold, it's in escrow, or it just got listed. Imagine if you took every property that came into the brokerage or your team or to you specifically, and you took 40 people, 50 people, and you slowly grew that out. So year over year, this year I only sold 5 homes. Next year I sell 10 homes. The year after that I sold 100 homes. Year over year, you're slowly growing that direct mail campaign, and they've seen you every month. They see your success every month. They get a market update from you every month. They get information from you every month. They get a text message from you every month. That's the right way to build out a program. Now, listen to what I just said. Nowhere in there is door knocking. Not saying door knocking doesn't work. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of door knocking. I'm just telling you, if you're looking to farm something that's going to be effective with less energy, but you're able to touch and communicate, because you got to understand, how do people learn? I told you the number one truth in real estate. People buy and sell real estate with the first or second agent that they're exposed to. We are fighting obscurity. That's what we're fighting. People don't know who the hell you are. You need to act like a politician. You got to be in front of the... Hi, I'm Chris. I'm with Kim Steele and Associates. I sell real estate. I help people sell homes. I help people buy homes. I'm excited. I'm here for you. I'm the expert. You talk to me. If you're not trying to go out there and expose yourself in multiple means, because like I was saying, how do people learn? Hear, see, touch, taste. You want to touch as many senses as possible. If all you're doing is dropping a flyer at somebody's door or dropping off this box, and I'm not a fan of the boxing, I will admit that. I think it's creepy, and I think it's very unclassy, but that's me personally. I know it works for a lot of people. I'm not a fan. But you want to try to touch them in every means. On their cell phone, they're getting a text message from you. I got a cell message, actually. On their cell phone, they just get a monthly market update from you on their cell phone, text message. They hear you because you called them. They see something physically, something that's beautiful that just came in their mailbox that actually targets specifically, let them know you're a winner and you sell homes, right? In their email. You're trying to touch them in multiple means. So you want to create scripts for that life cycle. So just listed life cycle. Guess what we did for neighbor? Just went into escrow. Just sold. And then your monthlies, monthly market updates, success stories, the homes you have listed, the homes that you've gotten sold, whatever that might be, your success. Sometimes I even send out, somebody brought it up yesterday. I send out a business card or a direct mail piece, and it's just a giant business card. It's literally my business card. I don't know if I have any right here. Nope, I got them somewhere around here. But it's just my business card. It's just blown up, and I just send that. And then on the back, it says the exact services that I do. So like you have this giant business card. You just put it wherever. So, you're trying to touch them in multiple means. So next, after you've created some of this stuff, you need to create a digital media piece, because you're going to take all this stuff, all the content that you're creating for these people. This is an opportunity also to put it on Facebook. It's an opportunity to stick it on Instagram. So you're basically repurposing to put in other stuff, and also to put in your other database that you have. All the same content that you're creating for this new farm that you're trying to create, you're going to farm people on Facebook. You're going to farm people that are already presently in your database from your lead capture systems, from past clients, whatever it is. So you're not doing extra work for everything. You're doing one straight process that feeds everybody and everything. So this is what I would do. Just listed call, direct mail piece. So when you just list a house, just listed call, direct mail piece that says just listed. And to me, I would do either a professional white letter or a yellow letter as the very first piece that goes out. If it's not your listing, talk to the listing agent first or your broker and say, hey, I want to market to get your house sold. Can I go ahead and put it out there? I will not claim that I'm the listing agent, but I want to go ahead and do some marketing for you. And you tell them, guess what our team just did for your, guess what our brokerage, guess what, whatever, just did for your neighbor. We just listed their home. We found that most neighbors are the first people that are going to bring somebody to the neighborhood to buy the houses that are being sold there. Do you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell, blah, blah, blah. You can come up however you want to do script. There's a ton of scripts online, so I'm not going to, insult your intelligence. Next. Open house call. So this is circle prospecting, folks. So you have an open house, 50 homes around there. You should be calling, inviting them to that open house. Come check out the open house. It's going to be out here. I'm going to be doing it. You should be doing that for every open house. And then you're going to do a walkabout, drop a flyer, open house this Saturday. Be there, be square. And then I'm going to also send out a text message. So I'm going to do my open house calls on Thursday. I'm going to send out a text message on Friday. I'm going to do my walkabout either Friday or Saturday right before the open house. I'm going to go out there and try to expose, touch them in multiple means, invite them to the open house. When you go into escrow, guess what we just did for your neighbor? You're going to send that out on a phone call. You're going to send it out on the text message, and you're going to send out a direct mail piece, professional white letter or a yellow letter. If you don't know what a yellow letter is, it's usually a hold on one second, I'll show you. Oh, I got one right here. I love these things. It's a yellow notepad, and you're just going to handwrite whatever you want to write. Now, if you're doing it in mass production, which I've done before, like hundreds, I actually go out on Facebook into one of the local groups, like up here locally, it's Friends of Fallbrook, and I say, hey, I need somebody to handwrite some letters for me. I'm willing to pay 10, 15 cents per letter, super easy. It's about 3 sentences. And usually what I'll find is, wonderful, amazing stay-at-home moms, which in my opinion is like one of the toughest jobs ever. They actually will take you up on that, and then you basically create a framework, and they sit there and handwrite the letters, and then I have them handwrite the envelopes. I throw stamps on them and mail them out. So I would highly recommend, because it's a different way of connecting with somebody. Somebody's going to see a professional white letter, and if it's something that they've used to, but it's very rare when somebody sees something that's physically handwritten to them from you, and you put their name in it. Dear Bob, you're the best. Love to sell homes. Want to connect. Next. So we talked about sold. Monthly. Once you actually get past the sold process, now we're going to talk about the monthly. Monthly text messages with market update. A monthly, and then you take that same monthly market update and you create a digital flyer off of that. That digital flyer should be what you send out in a text message, and it's what you put on social media, and it's what you email to your database every month. Email to your database that you have in your CRM. I also send out a weekly open house. If you guys follow me on Facebook, or because I think I'm at 5,000 friends. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see every week, our team, we send out a weekly open house and individual, really super cool digital pieces for open houses. And we also send that to our entire CRM. Okay, so send it on text, send it out by email, put it on social media. You're going to do a monthly farm call. every month. So it started off with 40 people, but you've listed 3 homes. Guess what? That just keeps going up times 3, right? You're going to call every month, call around. Hey, just want to give a call, let you know what's going on in the market. Looking to buy or sell? You know anybody looking to buy or sell? You're always going to touch base with them on the phone. And then the very last one, every month. Now this is the key. So one of the agents that asked me yesterday says, I'm planning on sending direct mail out every 3 months. I am not a fan of sending direct mail out every 3 months. It just doesn't give the exposure. You have to understand direct mail is something that you need to send out every month consistently. You're not going to get a return for 3 to 4 months. Your true returns come after you become recognized 3 to 4 months, then they start engaging. Once they start engaging, you can expect to get anywhere from a 3 to 5% return off of direct mail if you're sending it to a quality targeted audience. If you're not getting any returns on direct mail, you can reach out to me, same thing, put a comment, and I'll do a separate video. But usually what that means is that you're sending it to the wrong people. There is a way to actually target market. This way in particular, when you talk about creating a farm, I believe in creating a farm off of success. So these people already have seen you. They already know you, like you, and trust you, and they know you when you're going to sell the house. So I would say if you're going to farm, do that. If you're trying to do direct mail specifically just for direct mail, well, that's a whole different beast. You need to go to ListSource or call somebody directly like yellowletters.com, and they will create an actual campaign for you to do. Now, from there, it's real simple. Rinse, repeat, and keep adding addresses and phone numbers to that database. Rinse, repeat, keep adding addresses and phone numbers to the database. Every time you have a new listing, every time you have a new in escrow, every time you have a new sold, you need to be going through this cycle, and that's how you create a farm over time that is always going to win instead of and being stuck with only 300 homes in the same neighborhood that may not have a turnover that can actually feed you or your family. That's all I got. I went way over my time, but I thought this one was extremely important. For those of you that actually watched the whole thing, congratulations, because you're going to make some money off of this if you implement it. That's all I have. Do me a favor, like, share, comment. Make sure that you check me out on YouTube, check me out on Facebook. Love the comments, love the people that are calling me. You can always call me, and man, I'm just excited about being able to put out this kind of content to help people, and it excites me. I feel like I'm doing the right thing because so many of you are actually responding and communicating with me by private message on Facebook or on YouTube, and you're telling me it's helping you. I'm on a mission. I want to help change the industry. Because I think the industry is not a great place. And I think we need to be the stewards of our industry to try to help each other actually succeed. There's plenty of business for all of us, all right? Be the top 1%. Get after it. That's all I got. Appreciate you. KSA Kris, Real Estate Blitz, and we'll see you tomorrow.